Greetings. Welcome to Growth Hacking Show. I'm your host Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, and today we have a special guest, the president of Southwest Florida Real Estate Investments Association, Jeff Tumbarello. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Jeff Tumbarello. Jeff, welcome.
How are you?
Excellent. How about you? Thank you so much. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to get into real estate investing?
I initially was in the mortgage business. I brokered mortgages, and I was watching an investor make a lot of money as I was doing the loans for his buyers. And so that kind of inspired me to learn how to flip like he did. And then, we landlords, I've invested in distressed notes. Right now, I mainly invest in land personally.
Oh, this is cool. So, how long you have been doing this?
I started doing real estate in 1996, so it's been a few years.
Yeah, a few years, almost 25 years, almost,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. In 25 years, I'm sure you learned a lot. I want you to share a top three success strategies when you're dealing with the real estate investing based on your experience.
Number one thing is it's not just real estate, it's anything. You got to know what you're there to do. It's really easy to get caught up in things that matter, or I call it emotional things. And you really have to have goals. I need to make X. If I take a dollar out of the bank, I need to make X on the dollar. But the most important thing is you got to know what you're there to do. You really got to have a foundation and then launch from there. The worst thing you can do is start investing your own time and money without a very clear plan.
Okay, that's one. Number I need three.
Three. So, all right. Number two is assign a rate of return that's a minimum rate of return on any deal you'll do. So the most important thing is, if sometimes when the market's really hot like it is right now, you'll have investors that will do deals just for the sake of doing a deal. And you want to have a minimum rate of return. Because every time you do any type of transaction, there's exposure, there's liability. So it's so critically important to actually get paid when you do it because you're exposed. And then for number three, you always make your money on when you buy it. I mean, the moment you enter the property is when you should have made your money. The worst thing you can do is overpay. But, understand what you're there to do. Kind of have and make sure that for number two, make sure it's reasonable, it's sustainable for your yields. And then number three is, make your money when you buy. You've got to buy it right. If you buy bad real estate, the only thing that can help you is time. And then, there's opportunity costs with having your capital tied up.
Mm-hmm. So wonderful. Can I ask a follow-up question? What's your minimum rate of return when you buy the deal? So based on
a long-term hold, I want at least 7% a year. And if I'm flipping something, it has to be at least 20. If it's a trade, like I'm going to buy it, fix it up and sell it, it's got to be at least 20%, or it's not, because you're going to really make 15.
Yeah. Smart, very smart. Yeah, cool. So I'm sure in 25 years you had your own failures too. Is that right? Or you have everything a success? You had some failures too?
Oh, it's nothing ever goes like you want it to always.
Let me ask what is the single most professional failure you had in your real estate investing? And what did you learn from that? And how did you recover from it?
I would think the biggest failure I ever had was I bought a house with a partner that was half built. And there was a code change, and it was an owner builder, and we just did more than we were capable of. Our ambitions exceeded our abilities in that case. And I learned, number one, only take a project on scale that you can do. Him and I were very friendly. We had done a lot of business together, so we didn't define the venture in writing. And that was a mistake, because we entered into the venture without clear and concise boundaries and who was doing what and who was doing where. But Number one lesson I learned on buying that half-built house, which we got out of it and we made $1 basically, but it consumed my life for 9 months, was don't bite off more than you can chew. You know what I mean? Don't take on a bigger project than your ability just because you're an optimist, which is why I did it. I'm like, oh, we'll figure it out. We're smart. And yeah, we figured it out. But by the time we figured it out, I could have probably done 10 other deals.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you made $1. So there's a lot of lessons to learn from that one. So let's talk about your Southwest Florida Real Estate Investment Association. Tell us more about your REIA club. How big is that? How frequently you meet, and what type of investors you have in your members?
It's a pretty diverse membership group, young, old. We have some landlords, we have some flippers, we've got some real estate agents that come, some other service providers. We have about 240, 250 members. I haven't looked at the actual count. That's memberships. We have some memberships that encompass more than one person. We meet physically the first Wednesday for lunch, and then we meet physically the third Wednesday at night. And then most months in between those two meetings on Wednesday, we do a Zoom meeting. Like we've got a meeting coming up about what's going on in the mortgage market. We're about to send out to our email list now. The group first started meeting, believe it or not, in 2003, and we have been meeting ever since. And been through a couple different market cycles, and no matter what, the Southwest Florida REIA just always seems to be there.
Okay, so anyone who is watching this right now, or maybe recording later, what's the benefit of becoming a REIA club member? Why they should become
it's really important to be in a room full of like-minded people. You can learn from experiences. If you've got a deal you want to sell, I promise you're going to find a buyer in that room if it's a real deal. So, it's a place to do business. There's deals being done all the time. It's a very collaborative environment. We share a lot of information. Our club is different than most, that we don't do information product sales. So it's real world experiences being shared. That's what makes it so critical. With the information product sales, you kind of get a lot of dreamers. But our group's very, very founded and very intrinsically focused in doing business.
So do you also bring a guest to your Zoom meetings?
Oh, we always have a speaker. So we have a panel coming up at the end of the month. It's myself and 2 other investors, and we're just talking about, really, it's more of a mastermind session, investing in 2020. So, but like we have a hard money lender coming in to talk in November, and then we've got a Homevestors franchisee in November talking about mistakes that rookie investors make and how not to make them.
Cool. Give us some tips about how to invest in 2020. So, give us some tips while we are in this.
I don't have a crystal ball for 2020. This is the strangest year I've ever seen. The best thing I can say is turn off the news, get off of social media, and get out a calculator and only do things that make financial sense. But there's a lot of money to be made out there right now. The real estate market is probably one of the hottest I've ever seen, and it's not going to last forever. It never does. So make all the money you can while you can. And while you're doing it, don't make any mistakes. That's probably the best bet for 2020. Buy things that will pay you to own them. Right now, we're flipping a lot of land. I just signed a contract. Well, we kind of signed. We're getting ready to formally go into contract in a couple of days to have a house built that we're going to sell on some land that we bought. But, I mean, just do things where you've got a low downside and a high upside. That's important. So if the market changes, you're not caught holding the bag, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Very good. Jeff, I appreciate anything you like to share with. Are we about to wrap up in a few minutes? So anything else you'd like to share with someone who's watching? They may be interested in joining your REIA club.
Well, I mean, almost every local market has a REIA club or several REIA clubs. Mm-hmm. So you really want to check them all out and kind of find somewhere where you feel welcomed, where you, it kind of aligns with what you're trying to do. And then, the key is you're going to get into any organization what you put into it. Well, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So if you go to a meeting with 100 people that are, doing real estate and you stand in the corner and don't talk to anybody, you're probably not going to do very well. So really important to meet people, figure out what other people are doing, see if you've got a solution to a problem they have. They may have a solution to a problem you have, and really get to know the group and find out who's doing what. And there's always an opportunity. You're never going to get that opportunity if you don't get out and talk to people. Because really, while we focus on real estate, this is still primarily a people business. It really is. And the more quality people you have in your life, the better opportunity you have to better yourself.
Oh, no, definitely wonderful. It's like great advice, great wisdom to share with us. So I work with a billionaire. He is a $10 billion recluse billionaire, Mr. O. We makes like 100%, 1,000%, or a couple of thousand percent on the real estate investments these days. If you like, I will be happy to make an introduction. No buying or selling, just like, because you are helping so many other members, And
sure. I mean, I'd be happy to speak to him.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for Jeff for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of a Growth Hacking Show community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta. All good wishes.
Thank you.